Hi, welcome to Math with Jen. In this video, we are going to talk about how to round decimals to the tenths or the hundredths place. Before we begin, if you need help on how to round to whole number place values, I will link that video in the description. This number is 76 thousandths. We are going to round this to the nearest tenths place first. Okay, I'm going to make a number line so we can talk about what's happening when we round. So for this tenths plot, we are either going to round to the 0 tenths place, which is what it is right now. It's either going to stay the same, or we're going to round it up to the 1/10. Okay, those are our two options for this tenths place. Best thing to do is to go ahead and make this number line represent that place value that we're going to use to help us decide whether or not to round. So that's the hundredths place. So I'm going to add a 0 to the end of both of these numbers. Remember, when we add a 0 to the end of a decimal value, it's just helping us talk about that place value, but it's not changing the value of the number. Because I'm looking at 700ths, I want to make sure that my number line is talking about hundredths. I have 0 hundredths and I have 10 hundredths. I don't want this to be equally divided. I might not have it perfectly equal, but pretend. Halfway mark between 0 hundredths and 10 hundredths would be 5 hundredths. 7 hundredths is falling to the right of 5 hundredths, so I know that I need to round up. I would round this number to the tenths. I would round it up to that 1/10. We're going to use the same number, but this time we're going to round to the hundredths place. I'm going to do my number line, and I know that it's going to have to be between 7 hundredths. It's either going to stay the way it is, or it's going to move up to 8 hundredths. Those are my two options. It either stays the way it is, it's called rounding down, or I'm going to round it up by moving it to the next digit for that place value. I'm going to use the 6 to help me decide if I need to leave it alone or round it up. The halfway mark, this is going to the thousandths place, so I'm going to add a 0 to each of these. That way they're talking about the thousandths place. So I have 70 thousandths and I have 80 thousandths. The halfway mark would be 75 thousandths. I'm going to look at this 76 thousandths. Which way is it going towards? Is it going towards the left of the midway mark or to the right? As it's going to the right, again, we're rounding up. So we're going to round this to the nearest hundredth. I would say it rounds to 8 hundredths. I'm going to do the same number, but we're going to round it to different place values. I'm going to do the number line one more time for each of these, and then we'll lose the number line on the next example. I'm going to round to the tenths place. I'm either going to leave it alone. It's either going to stay 1/10, or I'm going to round it up to 2/10. Okay, those are my two options when I round. I'm either leave it the way it is, or I'm going to round it up to the next place value. I need to use the hundredths place value to help us decide how we're going to round. Okay, so since we're using the hundredths place value, I'm going to make these numbers equivalent to hundredths. Okay, so now we have 10 hundredths and 20 hundredths. Halfway mark is going to be 15 hundredths. Now look, I have 14 hundredths, right? So that 14 hundredths is going to the left of that halfway mark of 15 hundredths. So when I round 147 thousandths, I'm going to round it down to 1/10. We're going to round the same number, but we're rounding it to the hundredths place. It's either going to stay 14 hundredths, or it's going to round up to 15 hundredths. The halfway mark between these two, I'm going to be using this thousandths place. I'm going to add a 0 to both of these. So now I have thousandths equivalents. So I have 140 thousandths, 150 thousandths. Halfway mark on the number line would be 145 thousandths. It's a halfway mark between 140 and 150 thousandths. That 147 thousandths is to the right of my halfway mark. Lets me know I'm going to round it up. So this value, 147 thousandths, when rounded to the hundredths place, is going to be 15 hundredths. Not drawing the number line, but the number line was there so that you could see why do we round up and why do we round down. So for this one, we're either going to leave it alone. It's either going to stay 4/10 or we're going to round it up to 5/10. I am going to use the digit to the right to help me decide. Because it's less than 5, I know it's going to go to the left of the halfway mark on that number line. So it would round down. So 436 thousandths would round to 4/10. It would not round to 5/10. For the hundredth place, it's either going to stay 43 hundredths or it's going to round up to 44 hundredths. I'm going to use that place value to its right. It's 5 or more, so that means it would go to the right of that halfway mark. So that means we round up. 436 thousandths when rounded to the hundredths place would be 44 hundredths. So here are the concepts that we learned for this video. I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you learned something new, and I will see you next time. Bye.